At Vibra Finance, we seek out the hidden gems in cryptocurrency. We will tailor your portfolio to work for you. Are you ready to transition your investments from traditional markets to cryptocurrency? Are your coins staked and earning interest? Are you overwhelmed with all the jargon in crypto? Is your portfolio underperforming and you want to reposition into consistent winning blue chip coins and viable projects? Do you feel like you missed out on DeFi, Metaverse, and NFTs? Here at Vibra Finance, we provide you with the data, skills, and tools you need to stay on top of the digital asset market. Vibra Finance. We are the future of crypto.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Vibra Live. My name is Adam. We got a couple OG guests that are joining us today. Appreciate both of them coming by, spending some time, chopping it up. What's going on? My man Facing Reality, and none other than WhalesOnly.
What's good, guys?
All good.
Chilling, man. How you been?
Who? Me?
You there?
Been good, brother. Can't complain. Yeah, you guys can't hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, it sounded like everyone was muffled there. All right, there we go.
Am I hearing you guys now all of a sudden? I was just hearing you guys.
Does it work better for you?
There we go.
Here we go. Perfect.
Loud and clear now, baby. Yeah, we were just mixing it up behind the screen, the green screen there. And I swear, it is never a boring day in crypto, even if I think it's not even crypto related.
Quick.
What's that?
He has probably some internet connections. He's gonna check it.
I think I'm having. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me now? Okay,
Yes,
that should be good now then.
Okay, perfect.
Yup. Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Sorry for interrupting. Go ahead now.
No, bro, it's all good. I was just saying that, it's never a dull day in crypto. I mean, even when things are going well, things are going bad, there's always something out there. And I heard this, I had to look into it. We were doing some forensic analysis behind stream. And you guys all know Peter McCormack. And somebody literally mailed him a bag of poop. And it says Peter McCormack and Eric Wall are scammers. Pulsechain.com. And it gets better. It was registered as a scented candle.
Yeah. And then the best part is they put a document as the type of item. Like nobody even confirmed that makes sense.
Oh man.
Too funny.
This is what happens when you have a paid group, you take money from people and you lose their money. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody that he got wrecked in one of his groups did this just to get back at him. Because I just don't know if any Pulsa kids would actually go through the way of doing this. They've never really done anything to our community. We see through the nonsense, but it's just, I don't know. Something.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I don't know how true that could be. Like, you got to really be determined, to do something that ridiculous. Oh man.
Nowadays,
I mean, yeah, you so just don't paid groups, guys. Stay away from them. And if you're running a paid group, you might end up with one of these at your doorstep next. But yeah, on to Richard Hall. Let's see what he's doing today. Richard's tweets. His whole tone has changed. The outrage marketing is gone, and we got Richard back. When is he going to make a stream? That's what the $1 million question is now. And I honestly don't even think it's necessary. What do you think, Erwin, Wales?
I mean, for me, it's not necessary, and I think for the majority of the people that know what they're doing, it's not really necessary. But I think the majority of the community would love to see or think that he has some influence there. But yeah, I could care less, to be honest.
I'm of the frame of mind that he has enough content out there that people haven't watched that they need to be watching before they ask him for any new content. That's what I think.
Yep.
And this is
really
all
good
based
point.
on people's. Yeah, this is all based on people's reaction after Pulsechain launch and all that. Like, we clearly got a whole bunch of plebs in the community now, so they need to go back to 2020 and watch videos and just shut up. Because you don't know anything. You're just talking and you don't know shit.
They're so good too. They're so jam-packed with knowledge that even if you've seen it and you go back and rewatch it, there'll always be something that you pick up. You're like,
You're gonna learn
I
something.
didn't even realize that. I didn't see that first time through.
So true.
Yep.
It's
I mean, and they're
spending
all
that time.
Yeah, and there's dudes spoon feeding people legit information. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy that information is just sitting there. Nobody goes and watches. They ask for new information, and I'm like, you don't know even the old information. Why are you ready for new information? One step at a time, folks.
Yeah. When he was doing the outrage marketing, I know we talked about it a lot in Twitter Spaces where we said, yeah, we're just going to watch the old videos just to remind us what we're actually behind. And then we didn't have to endure the whole, outrage marketing because, that's not really for us. And then you see how
Not
much
at all.
information that was actually in his videos.
That was to bring.
Well, yeah, this is, I mean, if you really look at his way of getting out and reaching people, it's hook you at first with whatever tactic it is, get you into the community, get you talking about HEX, and then you see price go up and you can't help yourself and you will ape it. He's so good at creating candles and charts that you can't turn down if you're looking at it from the outside.
100%. And that's what's hard for newbies to understand because they don't really know anything. And I think that people really need PulseX V2 is up. With LP reward with LP rewards you can create pairs. Ari just tweeted. Pull it up. Literally 4 minutes ago. The new farms are up and ready to roll.
Well, let's check those out. Let's see what we got there.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's lagging here.
Don't mind me if I mute myself for a little bit. Got some clicking to do.
I don't see one here. All right, let's see. PulseX, you can create pairs and add liquidity. There we go. There's a toggle switch up on top from V1 to V2.
Seeing that. But I don't. Oh, they just got pools. Okay. I'm not seeing anything yet. It's like nothing there on the V2.
I don't see. I just see the stock pools that have been here. Well,
I guess that's what you get.
yeah. Where's the toggle to V2? I didn't see that.
It's up at the top.
Refresh the page.
Yeah, you gotta refresh the page. You gotta refresh it.
It's next to the price.
Just say, oh, there it is. All right. Boom. And
blank screen.
Yeah. And
still
we're
not
back.
seeing the pools though on V2 over here.
Yeah. I don't see anything. Yeah.
I'm on the actual /info/pools page and there's nothing there yet. So I guess it has a resolve until it actually loads so that we could actually see it. Nothing on the farms V2 and nothing in the pools V2. So patiently waiting.
I mean, this is great, though. This is something to get people excited about for the next couple of days. Then the buy and burn will be fixed. That'll get people excited for a couple of days. And just naturally, something happens in the crypto world that will draw attention, whether we're closer to the halving or the Ripple lawsuit settles or, an ETF is announced. So there's something that's going to happen that'll be bullish for crypto to like draw our attention away from all this negativity. Like I feel like we're so close to bottoming and like seeing the light at the end of the tunnel.
Right. I think the bigger issue is just people with their own agenda. Like you see a lot of that going on, and that's what causes a lot of this negativity and divisiveness within the space. Because people aren't really here about the actual mission. They hear about their own mission, which is their pocket. You know what I'm saying? So that's why people like me are important. People like you, whoever's out here speaking the truth. We're the people that need to be loud and shut those useless voices down because they're not adding value. They're just sharing their opinion, and their opinion is irrelevant. Always. Doesn't matter who the fuck they are, where the fuck they're from. I don't hear RH sharing his damn opinion, so I don't know why people think their opinion is valid. It's not. Never going to be. Mine isn't, RH's isn't, and that's just the end of it. So if RH's fucking opinion isn't valid, who the fuck are you to think your opinion is valid? Don't know, don't care. But that's literally how the world works. People online need to be receiving information that's going to help them make decisions about their own situation. Not some motherfucker on the internet think he knows what he's doing and he gonna tell you what to do. Like, that's not what we're here about. Like, no. Sorry, wrong place, bro. Get a paid group for that shit.
Yeah, there's so few people that are actually here to like doing what we're doing and like genuinely spending time doing what we love to do, but helping people because we're passionate about it. Like we're not taking money from outside sponsors, being shilling NFTs or this random new anything. Like it's the same message, and it grows slow, but it's it's authentic and it's genuine. It's all that matters to me. It's like you can't save everyone, but you could set an example and hopefully lead the way for others to follow, just like Richard's doing.
Correct.
Just in our own ways.
That's right. I mean, and then I think we have a lot of good community members that are doing just that. And those are the people that we need to put at the top and at the forefront and celebrate. Not the clowns. The clowns aren't adding any value. They're never gonna. They're just clowns. The people that are farming engagement online and all that nonsense, that does not add value. Provide information that people can latch onto, think about, and then proceed to make a decision on. That's what we actually need. Not a bunch of coattail riding to say PC. So ridiculous. It's ridiculous, bro.
Yes. And like I just think like the younger like generations, they start turning 17, 18, 19. Is it going to get any better or is it going to get worse? Like I feel like everyone that grew up in like facing a phone can't help themselves. Like, or it's very rare you find someone that can like, I don't know. It's wild where we're going in the future. I'm not seeing how we
don't notice.
Fix it.
They're so fixated on that screen. They have no.
Real life is going to fix that. Real life is going to fix that. We don't got to worry about that.
Yeah,
I mean, look at the death jabbers. They are like, they're taking care of it for us. That's something I realized once that happened. I was like, oh, so I don't actually need to give a fuck about them because they're just going to kill themselves off anyway. Just think about it. They're the people that are looking for somebody to tell them what to do and how to do it and when to do it. And those are the people that we're talking about that are not going to make it. Not only not in crypto, because it's the 21st century, 2 decades in, it just so happens that they're just not going to make it, period. They're going to die, and they're going to die because of their ineptitude and unwillingness to educate themselves. And we're seeing it in real time. God suddenly is just that.
Yeah. And it's like, and it's a combination of things too. It's like, it's not just all of a sudden it's just happened out of the blue. This is years and years of immorality, living on the high horse, living with lies. Left is right, upside, up is down. Everybody is equal, whatever the nonsense is. Like you live that lie year after year, it collapses hard on itself, and you're starting to see it now.
Hardcore. I mean, if you would ask me in 2019, hold on, guys.
Yeah, well, the whole world is built on lies. The whole education system, literally every system. It's not even funny anymore. We have said it so many times. Just one big corporation, the whole world.
And that's why it's on us to like
Yeah.
build Mexico so we can have a solution to it. Like we have our own organic food, we have farms, we have our own supply chains. So this stuff is irrelevant. You know, if you do your own thing, I feel like that's the future. Is getting back to our
Well,
roots.
it's gonna have to be. I
Yeah.
don't. Do we? I mean, let's think about it, right? Look at outside. What choices do we have when the masses are purporting themselves to the point? I mean, they're subjugating themselves to just essentially being treated like cattle. They do not care.
Yep.
They really don't. You know, they're out here just taking whatever scraps they're given and the shit. I mean, this is what we saw. This is what I was gonna say before I got interrupted. If you would have asked me in 2019 if people would be willing to essentially potentially commit suicide for a burger and fries or $100 or something like that, I would have told you no way, straight up.
Yep.
But what did we see? We saw just
Lines.
that. Yo,
Standing in lines for hours.
Yeah, to die,
Mm.
to potentially die. Never mind privacy laws, never mind your health record, never mind the fact that none of this stuff was done to quote unquote standard, right? So everything we've been living for the past 30, 40, 50 years, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 has been pure lies.
Yep.
That's exactly what that certifies right there, because I remember being in the military, and one of the most important laws that exists are HIPAA laws, because if somebody knows your medical weakness, well, they can easily just fucking eliminate you, can't they? Yeah, they can. And I mean, clearly people aren't just running around thinking like that, but that's exactly why your medical information is meant to be private, people. It's not meant to be a fucking Twitter post. But people are not, like, people just don't know, right? And then when people like me are out here saying things like this, they're like, what is this guy talking about? He don't fucking got a clue, but your ass is on the death train, bitch, so have fun. You don't matter anyway.
And
So
it's that like cut and dry too. It's either you either sound absolutely crazy or you make sense. Like there's no in between. Like you either completely understand what you're saying or you're nuts.
Yep.
I had that exact same conversation yesterday with my father-in-law, and I said to him, the only reason why it's so extremely hard to grasp what I'm telling you for the past 2 decades is because the contrast between what you are thinking and what I'm claiming is so far between that in your mind it could never be true, just because the distance between the two is so huge.
Yeah.
Truth is stranger than fiction.
That knowledge gap.
Yeah, it's insane. It's so far out there for them, so by definition it could never be true.
And how do you fix that? It's like getting the next generation to start at a young age, you know, growing vegetables, farming, teaching them about money, teaching kids. I'm like, imagine if by 10 years old, kids had 2 or 3 years of, you know, how to maintain a budget, having an allowance, and like doing stuff your own way. Like kids could be thriving by 14, 15, 16 years old. And we have the ability to change that. Like crypto is our way out, is like the cheat code to getting ahead. Where what are you going to do? Go work 30 years making $100,000 a year so your whole life is gone? I mean, it's,
if you're lucky,
it's a different world than when we grew up in 2000, when you could still put $1 million in the bank and live off the 5% interest a year. That world is gone.
I grew up in the 80s. Dude, my youth was freaking amazing. It was, I'm not joking, we could literally do whatever the fuck we wanted. There was pretty much no regulation whatsoever. We literally had personal contacts with the police, the fire brigade. We could do, in the middle of the yard, we were making a campfire, having fun, drinking beer. Then the cops and the fire department was called in. They join us. They spend 5 hours drinking beer surrounding a
Today,
campfire.
you liable to die.
Dude, the gap is insane. I can't comprehend it.
Why can't it be like that again? Like, why can't your neighbor next door be the town sheriff that everybody likes and comes and hang? Like, there's no reason it can't. Like, we've gotten so far away from what made America great, why we were such a good country 50, 70 years ago. It's like people did stuff for themselves. You didn't go online and ask for help, or you did it yourself.
Yeah, we relabeled everything, like qualifications, meanings, definitions. Everything is being relabeled. And majorly the way we experience intelligence. Nowadays, intelligence is measured by somebody else that judges you on your intelligence by how good you can memorize what he told you.
Literally.
How crazy was Rags' story the other day? His 6-year-old.
Oh,
He's
yo.
in private school.
Bro.
Like,
I be look, when all this Rona shit was going on, I had my kids in these fucking schools. I was harassing as high as I could go. I didn't give a fuck.
Yep. I was exactly the same, dude.
Because I know what they're doing. And I would tell them, I know what you motherfuckers are doing. I'm gonna take y'all motherfuckers like all this shit. I would stress these people out. Because what are they doing? They were out here literally, and I got the fucking cherry on the icing. Wait for it. They were literally suffocating kids for years. And then guess what? This last Halloween, these motherfuckers had the nerve to send emails to parents talking about, do not let your kids wear masks to school on fucking Halloween.
what?
Yep. Eradicate culture.
True story.
Eradicate heritage.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. That's why nobody knows anything about their past.
Yep.
You think you do, but you really don't. You just got stories that were handed to you. You don't have anything of proof to certify anything you've ever been told. And it doesn't matter if your parent worked at fucking NASA or whatever the fuck, because I've heard that dumb shit before.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Like, oh, they work there. That's cool, bro. Good for them. How does that help you? Because now it's 2023. It ain't 1960. It ain't 1980. Motherfuckers are out here trying to kill you under the pretense of them knowing better than you.
Yep. And the funny part is that I work for NASA was part of the plan.
Of course. Of course.
Because if you would, let's think about it. You create a rocket with billions of dollars. How many contractors would you want to have on that project that is going to the most dangerous mission ever?
As few as possible.
Exactly. Why were there 25,000 contractors on the NASA mission, the first one? Because everybody needed to be involved. Because then they could say, yeah, but my granddad made the nut.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you spread the lie around. You give them just enough. Exactly. You give them just enough for it to look true from far away. Yeah. But the motherfuckers on the inside know what's really going on.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it goes.
Bro,
rabbit hole. They just don't know because I don't talk about it.
Exactly.
I already know everything. Yeah, like, you know.
At what point, like, is it like, do you just keep harping on it and
yeah,
like, and like everything is fake, everything, or do you just build your own stuff and like, and see
you gotta do both? I think
could be.
I think you got to do both because people need to know that there are people out there that do not agree with the minority, because the people that are pushing all this stuff, they're the minority. Period. Yep. There you go. Salute.
And by 1,000,000 to 1.
Yeah. Yep. And that's, give me a second, guys.
And we
gave them their power.
Sorry, guys. Go ahead. No, continue. Because you're right.
You're 100% right with what you're saying too. Is it's a combination of both. Like, yeah, you need to highlight the flaws, but also you need to provide a solution. If you're just harping on stuff with no solution, you're just as bad as anybody else. But when you can offer a solution and offer hope and offer positivity to people, that's what our community has, and that's why I think we're it's special to be a part of.
I mean, you vote with your money. We're seeing it with Budweiser. We're seeing it with Target. People are slowly starting to wake up to the bullshit, and it's not hard to beat them. Just don't go there. It's that easy.
Look, you know what's funny? And I'm sorry for interrupting, but when you said it's not hard to beat them, I think about this so often because I worked for them. Yeah. I worked with them. I know exactly how they operate. Anybody that's been in the service and was paying attention in any country, doesn't matter. They know the weaknesses. They know the strengths. They know what they need to know. But people are so self-centered when it comes to this aspect of life that they cannot fathom having a conversation like this with like-minded people where the truth is just in their face and it's just like, oh, these guys really are ill-equipped. And they are completely. Look at how police operate. Look at how the military operates. It should be obvious to anybody that's paying attention.
Yeah, right. Yeah, if you, I want to go look and see who like the city of Atlanta has hired in their police department in the last 6 months. Like, see what like LA or even like see who they're hiring. Like they're not the cream of the crop. Like they're purposely the last 3 years was the perfect example of how to get the smart, logical thinking people to just quit and leave, and now you're left with anyone that will just I'll
follow
put a on my head and show up to work. Sounds good to me.
Literally. I mean, Australia, Canada, Europe. That's all you see.
Yeah.
That's why I do not respect people trying to tell me anything out of those jurisdictions. Like, who the fuck are you? You need to shut the fuck up and figure out what you got going on over there. Because America is the last frontier. America is the only thing that's keeping the world in the current state that it's in. As ridiculous as that sounds. But if it wouldn't have been for America, Rona would still be high and mighty. Motherfuckers would be on lockdown all over. But because we was like, fuck y'all, and we never stopped living, guess what? It failed. So you're welcome, everybody else.
Exactly.
Because everybody else is saying, follow China, follow Italy, follow all these stupid countries that were doing the damnedest thing to get people killed.
Mm-hmm.
That was a narrative for the last 3 years.
It was all perception. It was all
100%.
What you wanted to make of it. Right in the heart of it, in December of 2020, we booked a trip, a meetup. It was a crypto meetup in Denver, and Pulsechain was there from the community. And I booked my ticket, and they literally said, "Are you sure you want to go? This is dangerous. You can cancel your trip at any point." It was like 3 or 4 warnings. I booked. Okay, yes. I booked my ticket, and then everything was perfectly normal. Show up to the airport, everything was working fine. Nothing changed, but planes were flying at 10% occupancy, and they did everything they could to get you to not buy that ticket.
Correct. That's
and
it.
Everything was
stopped at the gate. I was literally at the gate towards you guys.
Yeah.
And I literally had to get about this much paperwork done before I could even think about getting a ticket.
Oh.
And then I got my ticket and I got everything that I needed, go to the gate. And then the guy said, "Do you have an ETA?" I don't know, it was some document that they introduced about a week prior to, and that only exchange. What was it again? Non-essentials. So I could turn around, go home, and waited for 4 or 5 months, and then I went to you in November or something.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That your first trip got. That's right. All because we didn't have that something we didn't even know it existed at the time.
And the funny part is, I paid $500 for a so-called document that said that I was supposed to have something, and it worked perfectly fine. They don't even check. I literally had an A4 document that I printed out on my own printer. I gave it to them. The only thing they did was check if my name corresponded with my passport, and it was good to go. I'm not joking.
Yeah. I flew to the UK. I flew to the UK in 2021, I think it was. December 2021. And they made it seem like if you went over there, you wasn't making it in and you wasn't making it out. And all it was is that they just wanted you to pay. They just wanted you to pay for whatever they wanted you to pay for to get in and out of the country. That was it.
100%.
Like this whole thing was a money scam. Yeah, this whole thing was a money laundering scam. The entire thing.
Yep.
And to get people to die at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. Because when
Sorry,
I was
go ahead.
on the airport, everything was perfectly fine. You go to customs, everything is normal. You go through all the hoops and all the things, and everything is normal. And then as soon we got close to the closest gate that is to the main voyage, or where everybody's going in and out, where you could actually meet other people, then all of a sudden they had a booth with fiberglass and people in green coats and face masks, and just because that was a location that people could actually see. The rest of the whole airport was just normal. And then as soon as the public could actually see something, then the whole charade begins. It was so funny.
Bro, do you remember that at when we dropped you off at the Newark airport, you almost paid for some stupid test, and it was like $285. And if you didn't know better, when you bought your ticket, it said you needed to get this like certificate or whatever, and it was almost $300. And I went to the airport, and the place did not even exist. The company and the thing you got, they said they had a booth at the airport you need to go to. It did not even exist. It was a pure money grab. So thank God we didn't pay for it, because it was so bad. This is what you said. You know,
and I went in the plane without it.
Yeah.
Like literally, it was so stupid.
I think each state was just making up stuff that you potentially needed to get money out of you before you jumped on a plane. And if you didn't do it, it didn't even matter.
Yeah.
And
quick interruption. A quick interruption. The info page with stats and USD display and farms won't work until enough liquidity and pairs have been added. So that's why we didn't see anything. It was just launched, so there was nothing to see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I just haven't stopped thinking about it. Sorry to interrupt though, because this is all related. You know, it's all related.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, for sure. I pulled it up. I was wondering if something's wrong on my end here. I don't know why the internet is so slow. Was Chris from the Verse almost got banned from Alaskan Airlines for not wearing a mask?
Ridiculous. Well, they're commies forever. Like if you were an individual that was literally going hard over those past 3 years, can't take that back. You were commie for life because your true colors were shown.
Yeah.
Period.
They still believe it to this day, even though the government
100%.
already admitted that it was nothing. It was a flu, and they still.
Let me tell you guys something.
It's.
I see more people wearing masks now than I did during the damn thing. I don't know what they're telling people. I really don't know.
Right?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. It's insane. Like in New York, that's what I'm seeing, and I don't get it. Like,
yeah,
I don't get it. I don't know what lies that they got going on that these people. Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. Like, no, you're good, man. It's just, I don't know, bro. It's just crazy.
Alan's comments are so freaking funny. I love Alan. What up, buddy?
Yes, Alan's the man.
Yeah. Plenty of people got that too from them jabs, so it's crazy.
Yeah, that's your legend.
Yeah, I was exactly the same. And I even told my kids, and my kids got sent home from school because they wouldn't wear their mask. I mean, come on. So I held them at home. Fine by me. So I had a couple of weeks off.
And they could have learned more in those 2 weeks doing stuff with you than
they
like
literally learned more in those 3 weeks. Yes, it was. After that, the debating with my daughter and his teacher started. It was funny. and they don't have an answer. That's how crazy the educational system is.
Yeah.
My 13-year-old daughter was literally walking circles around her teacher. It's a joke. It's truly a joke.
Well, yeah, you're Portugal, man. I can't wait to hear how it is. And a country they're like revolutionary over there.
Oh, it's exactly what Wales is saying. I came to the same conclusion. I've been down the rabbit hole for over 2 decades. And at some point, you got to stop thinking that you can actually wake people up or change anything in that way. If you want to have something changed, change it for yourself first, and then go further. And yeah, exactly. I came to the same realization a couple of years ago. I thought, no, I need to go planning. I need to follow the plan and start building for myself, become self-sustainable. That's the goal. We're gonna need it.
100%. Everybody's gonna need it.
Yep.
Well, that's what that's my goal. Like if I had like the best perfect scenario would be like in 10 years and a 4-hour drive, no matter where you are in the United States, there was someone that had not off the grid, but like self-sufficient well water, organic food, like a conference streaming room, like an extra house to stay at. Like if we had that a 4-hour drive everywhere, 1 or 2 in every state, you start there. And then you start having people that that are close and people that are there that'll help you and, just be around people that will get your back. And there's people in this community that will do that. Like we've met them in person.
Yep.
We're there. It's now building the infrastructure for people to come together and get the farthest away from these 15-minute cities that are coming.
Yeah, it's just so fun.
These gotta go.
It's gonna be so dire in the future that even being a millionaire won't help you.
Nah,
your money won't help you.
I've been saying that since I started fucking streaming. Like people think that the solution is just getting rich. It's really not.
Nope.
You have to know what's going on and understand why these things are happening. You can't just ignore when somebody's putting a gun to your face because you're too stupid to know that's coming. Because what are you going to do then?
Yeah.
Ask anybody that's been genocided in the past 100 years. I mean, I don't know why this is rocket science to people. Like we got nothing but examples. This is why I find it difficult to have a so-called debate. Like there's no debate, motherfucker. Go read a book. You don't know anything. What are we debating? I'm talking to myself.
Yeah, but you can't get that anymore.
Nah, exactly. You're talking to a wall.
It is. And people, I've never, it was never like you two people couldn't just talk things out or since when does it come to the point where people just start screaming and get triggered over the dumbest things, right or left or anti this or pro that, stuff that doesn't even matter. It's how do we get so lost from our roots that it's sad, bro. It really is. And it's I try not to even go in the Twitter.
Well, think about it. What's happened?
And they hijacked sports and created a whole new definition for us that associates with it. Because in the old days, we used sports to congregate and actually connect with each other. So you had different neighborhoods that actually connected with each other and generated revenue by working together and bonding as a team together. Nowadays, you have to choose a team. You have to fight with each other because supposedly it's not fun anymore to watch people play with a ball or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. The amount of just I don't know if it's copium in the Twitter spaces or what it is, but I swear if I hear 10,000x one more time, I just can't, I'll just bust. I've never blocked people so fast in Twitter. It's getting this delusion in people's heads. And we did, oh, wow, we did a 2x off launch and now we're down from sack price. People needed to at least have this in their mind that you're going to probably question if sacrificing was the right thing to do. That's how we're shaking people out and things are about to change. Like when I see so many people like, well, why did I even do it? Why the hell did I sacrifice? I could have got more now, you know, and that's people weren't talking about this. It was all 10,000x. Oh, we're going to go to the moon. It's like,
but the funny thing is, what is happening right now actually gives it the possibility to get to a 10,000x.
Yep.
Say nothing. Say nothing. You don't hear me talking about none of that. Why?
Yeah.
Because people haven't learned anything.
No.
Like when people spend 2 years talking about these stupid ass strategies that they can't even fucking deploy. Literally.
Right. Well, yeah. I'm too scared to throw my money into Pulse X and Pulsechain LP. I'm just gonna sit tight. It's like I've been waiting 2 years for this, and you're scared of it when it launches. It's like, man, like this is the opportunity you need to pounce on. It's like I don't know if I'm just like, am I crazy now, or like where did this disconnect come from? Where it's like being scared to do stuff is okay.
You literally get. I mean, we all know that you accumulate in the bear market and then you wait for the bull market. Now you get the chance to play with a brand new system, learn it in a bear market, and ride it all the way up for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
This is the way I view Pulsechain because everybody spent the last 2 years thinking that they had a clue. I'm not talking about like what people should be doing or what, like, if you have not learned the basics about what is going on in the world such that you don't understand that fiat is not the trick, then you would be scared to provide liquidity because you don't understand the math.
Yep.
I mean, that's simply what it is. Because in our ecosystem, you don't have to just provide liquidity versus stables. You can provide liquidity via cryptos only.
Yep.
So, you know, people started doing math, they'd probably be all right. But because I'm not doing it for them, they're lost. And that's exactly why so many are not going to make it. Because they're waiting for somebody else to do the work for them. Good luck with that.
Yeah. Well, like, yeah, and for all, like, it blows my mind. Like people that are saying, "Oh, I don't know if it was worth sacrificing. I shouldn't have done it." It's like, man, were you not salivating at the ratio trading when, like, during the first 24 hours? Like my Staker app, something was wrong with it. I could not get my Pulsechain into MetaMask so I could start ratio trading. I was like fiending for it. So it's like it blows my mind. Like, what were people doing like for the last 2 years? Well, before this launch,
I don't know, bro, but
like crazy.
I know.
But that's why.
I started playing.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I had no intention of provide liquidity. It's the best decision I've ever made once I realized the math. Because until I say, you know what, let me do this. Let me play with it. Until I decided to do that, I didn't know. So only then was I like, oh, okay. And guess what? I'm glad I did that. That's all I got to say. So
Yeah. And
this is a competition now.
Yeah.
Literally.
And right now,
it's a competition now. Good luck.
Yeah. And it's like now the rates are, we're kind of stable. Like we haven't gone between 2 to 2.5. We've stayed in that zone for Pulse to Pulse X now. So the more stable that is, the less in permanent loss you're going to get. And it's like, all right, so at what point does the yield drop down to where I could start actually taking in permanent loss? Because the side that I'm losing out on, I'm making plenty of incentive token to buy that back up and some. So I don't know. It's like
it's in both coins. So both coins will do. So let's say PLS does 100x and PLSX only does a 70x. Are you going to take everything out at that moment, or are you going to take some profit and live off? Where's the impermanent loss? You like both coins. They both have value. They both did multiples upon multiples. I don't see the impermanent loss when you're dealing in cryptos that are pretty much liquidity bonded already.
Yeah. This is unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I'm super excited, man. I just like what we were talking about earlier is looking at some of these blue chip coins that are on Pulsechain here, and like at what point does like Chainlink look attractive on Pulsechain, or Uniswap at a third of a penny, or Aave at 10 cents, or Quant at 40 cents? Like at what point? Like I envision Pulsechain to like the last bull run. It was almost too expensive. If you had less than $1,000, no, I guess if you had less than $500 in a bag, you could not buy and swap out of Ethereum with the fees at $50 to $60 a transaction. All your profit was gone to fees. So I envisioned like Pulsechain being the place where you can come and trade and do stuff with your ERC20s for way less money. And I'm taking a bet and I'm just buying up some of these now in hopes that in a year or two, people are not going to want to pay $100 a swap, and they'll come over to Pulsechain and use it for what it's needed or for what it was meant for, to save ETH gas fees. You know, it's like, and it scratches the itch. Like we were talking about it earlier too.
Yeah.
That we're just throwing a couple hundred, $50 into 10 of these altcoins and just watching them and whatever. It just, you don't do the dumb shit. You know, prevents you from doing that. And if you have buying SHIB on here, like I could see a day where someone, a couple SHIB whales figure out Pulsechain and say, all right, let's take 50 grand and let's just pump it for attention one day. And just to do it, why not? Like out of boredom. And I could see that happening. And I'm just like, I'm super bullish on everything in the system. It's like these dips are opportunities. You really got to understand that. And if you do, you know what's good.
Yeah, man. Even I have some little Degen moves.
Yeah, like Texan too. Like I want to support Whales. Like I want to support Whales. I want to support Rags. I want to support Hexray when his coin comes out. Like I want to support the people that I've became friends with and known for years in this community. And that also like helps from going to Pulsechain up here, seeing what's pumped the hardest in the last 24 hours. And all right, now what can I get into? All right, Daytona Finance, that looks good. All right, Trillion Coin. All right, yeah, that looks great. Whale Rebirth. Okay, maybe I'll catch that pump. It's like that's how you get yourself wrecked right there. And I know people are doing it.
Just select on the biggest drop. You get more luck there. If you want to play Degen, then do it that way.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, what I missed?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm just talking like in the future. Like I think like the Degen out there, going and buying like some Quant at 40 cents, Aave at 10 cents, Uniswap at a third of a penny, Chainlink at 2 cents. That's the Degen stuff.
Yeah, things that make sense if you want to speculate. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree there. That's only logical. I mean, we talked about that actually at the beginning of Pulsechain announcement. We talked about that a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pick the coins that already have a big
at
community.
length. That was one of the obvious strategies. But yeah. Exactly. Ooh, check this out. Breaking news is now, I guess, coming out. I mean, people like us already knew like when it happened, but now it's being reported that Jamie Foxx is left paralyzed and blind from a blood clot in his brain after receiving the death jab.
What a coin eating.
Dude, what
about that?
But the medical science can't explain what is actually going on right now. So
listen to the excuse. Listen to the excuse. Hold on, there's more to read. Jamie had a blood clot in his brain after he got the shot. He did not want the shot, but the movie he was on was pressured. But the movie he was on, he was pressured to get it. Oh, sucks to not be a man, bro. Good luck,
bro. That's like what I was talking about earlier. Is like when you live in like immorality and you live a life of lies where you accept lies for money. That shit eats. So that's what I think like cancer is like you lying to someone and screwing them over and knowing it and having to live with that like regret or that like fear of, oh God, they're going to catch on. Oh God, they're going to find out. Like that's what like disease is, in my opinion. That's crazy.
That's real life, bro. These are the consequences that happen. I mean, people just think, I mean, this is the online world, you know, and people think that there are no consequences for their actions. This is the problem of the 21st century. Because the world is online and there are no consequences online, people think that they can do shit and not suffer any repercussions. Well, guess what, motherfuckers? Not how it works.
Yep.
Karma is a bitch.
Literally not how it works. And this is just further proof. And the proof is laid out at your feet daily. Question is, are you paying attention? The answer is, for most people, nope. And he was one of them, clearly.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, yeah, that's at what point, at what point is your life more than $1?
Never,
that's
to most.
I mean, for
because they don't know the value of their own life.
Nope. Well, and it's so like, yeah, bro, it's that's a whole different rabbit hole down there. Is like just the insane culture that's pushed on us and like created in Hollywood. That's like, it's crazy. Like,
but that's why Hollywood and all these entertainers are the role models, quote unquote. This is what we were raised on, in essence. Think about it. Your role model, most people's role model was not their damn parents. It was some clown on TV.
Yep.
It was some clown on TV. And I, for one, never understood that, but that's how it was for a lot of people. Yep. And I could not wrap my head around it. So that's why I'm just not impressed by nothing. Like, what do you mean? Anybody can do anything when they're supported to do it. Like, anybody could be a Jamie Foxx. Shut the fuck up. As long as they got the money behind them.
To act. I mean, seriously, acting, how hard can that really be? I mean, singing, he's got to, like, singing, that takes talent. Yeah,
I'm not even talking about the talent, because clearly he's a talented individual. What I mean is anybody could be him. Yeah. There's a million motherfuckers out here that got Jamie Foxx's talent. He's not a one of a kind. And this is what people do not understand. Yep. It's just like sports. I was good enough to make it to the major leagues. I grew up with 20,000 motherfuckers that were good enough to make it to the major leagues. Did we make it? No. So who cares? It don't matter. That's what I had to realize.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, there's 1,000. Yeah, exactly. There's 1,000 Jamie Foxxes out there. And like AI is gonna, if you don't have like something genuine or authentic, like AI is gonna replace all of these people that aren't actually talented. Like AI is it's gonna be a breath of fresh air, and it's like, I'm not fearing it at all. Like, if it's gonna, I think, actually bring the human out inevitably.
It's gonna have to, because people think AI is this thing that it's not.
Exactly.
It's huge. Yeah. And that's the hugest thing going on right now, because people are being lied to in such a way that they think they can be replaced.
Yeah.
I mean, no, you cannot. I mean, AI is just some code, bro. What's wrong with you?
Yep. It's nothing different than a calculator. The only difference is that with a calculator, you actually see that you are putting in the input. With AI, it's just happening on the background. But the input is put in there by somebody, and it goes off a list of actions that it needs to go through. If that list of actions isn't there, it doesn't do anything. It's that simple.
Yeah.
I never believed in the whole artificial intelligence or that nonsense. Since it's created intelligence that is going off of a sequence, how is it artificial?
Yeah, it's all got human touch written all over it. There's no AI without humans, and I don't fear it at all. Like, let it replace paper pushing jobs, and like, that's half the reason this house of cards is collapsing, is because it's so inefficient. If you replace the
100%.
inefficiencies, you might be able to survive the future instead of passing the same paper around to the director of corporate relations, to the HR's stepsisters. It's crazy. And I can get rid of that.
I got a story about. I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead,
bro.
I was just gonna say I got a story about efficiencies. I was in college. This is how naive I was, man. And this is how we all are as young people. I was studying to become an economist, right? Like I was set on getting my PhD in that nonsense because I didn't know any better at the time. So I went to go talk to a professor I had, and she knew I was good, knowledgeable, whatever, blah, blah. So she understood what I was trying to do. But then when I went to talk to her, the conversation after it ended just left me feeling in limbo. Like at that point, I realized that I was looking at things wrong because of her reaction to me. Right now, what did I say? Well, I was explaining that I was trying to do something, research, whatever, because I wanted to be PhD. And the reason why, because she asked me why. The why is always important. Man. And I was just like, I'm really all about sussing out inefficiencies and making them not. And she just looked and laughed at me. In a way, not directly, but basically what she did. She was like, oh, honey, this is not about that. That's what she told me. Because she understood I was intelligent enough to grab. I was an adult student. I was not some 20-year-old schmuck, but I was still naive to the game. I was not well-versed in the game. That's why once I was well-versed in the game, I knew I was wasting my time doing anything in Wall Street to the point where I was certified or credentialed. It was irrelevant because I did not need it. Look at me now. I'm a million miles ahead of those clowns that don't even got a clue what's coming. Literally do not. They're only now, and this is because I see it, they're only now, today, in 2023, starting to look at crypto. And the thing is that it was essentially stood up for them, right? Because they're not standing it up. They're participants in the market. So they don't actually know anything. And this is what's hard for people to understand that are in crypto, that are asking for these so-called institutions to come in. They're not coming in to save you. They're coming in to box you out. So while you're over here complaining and crying about, my bags aren't getting pumped, your dumb ass needs to be swapping fiat for crypto because you're about to get boxed the fuck out. Because you don't have the fiat that they do. They have all the fiat. How can you compete? You cannot.
Yep.
So what should your sole mission be before they come trampling on our doors? Because they're going to go to fake crypto first. They're going to go lose their asses. And then they're going to come here. Because you don't know what these documents say, but I do. I know what they can and cannot buy. And just so you people that don't know understand, they're not going to be buying Bitcoin. They're not going to be buying Ethereum. What? Those are the ones they're always promoting. How could that be? Oh, well, guess what? Nobody likes paying 5 figures for some bullshit or 4 figures for some bullshit that they know is not going to perform because it's simple mathematics. Get in tune to get left.
Yep. I think like I was really like under the spell that we were going to like be walled off out of like the new stuff that was going to be used with like Fidelity and the banks, that they were going to have their own private blockchains, right, that they were going to, but that's not what's going to happen. They're going to obviously have,
they can't get away with that. It won't work. Think about it.
Exactly. And it's not optimal either. The most money is made in open source networks and they know that. So they're going to, I think this is the ultimate shakeout where like I've been looking at this company, HEX Trust now for months, and they work with all kinds of companies around the world. Basically, it's their custodians, it's their access into DeFi. I mean, just what you said, they're not coming for Bitcoin and ETH. Like these guys, they're buying anything. You can literally call them and they will custody anything that MetaMask is compatible with. So they're coming for all of crypto. And like, this is the shakeout where they're going to come and scoop up everything. They don't care, like buy everything and then sell us back derivatives in a year or two when it's legal. In 2025, when it's now safe, when all the institutions are staking and using
at
DeFi.
the top. At the
Yes.
top.
Exactly. And now you can come rebuy your coins at, and you can buy, JP Morgan, whatever, Radix or JP Morgan Pepe, but we'll hold the real thing for you because it's still probably too risky. And I can see the writing on the wall for that right now. Do you think something like that, like a derivative type where people don't have to custody their own stuff? Or do you think we'll get to the point where custody is so easy and you don't have to worry about hiding your seed phrase, making copies of it and burying it in your backyard? Like that's not scalable to the masses. Like we need some kind of decentralized recovery or like something that stores your seed phrase for you.
Well, I think you're thinking too crypto-ish. That's never going to be the case for the masses unless we actually trump them. Because you're presuming that they're going to allow you to actually have access to your own shit. That's never going to be the case. The way it works is that you're always removed from ownership. It happens with real estate, happens with everything in these countries because people are dumb and they don't learn anything and they don't research anything. So for them, the rulers, the controllers that are always mentally manipulating people, the idea is to remove control. I mean, look at people. They're scared of having control of their own lives.
Yep.
You see it because they don't want to put in the work. That's proof right there. It's really easy to see. So because everybody's been bred to be a bitch, in short, that's what it ultimately is. What's going to happen is that it's just like I've been saying all along. They're standing and they have these conversations and nobody knows because nobody's looking, but I'm looking. I know who's having them. I know where they're having them at and all that. For the 2022, there's this entity called Blockworks. They're the ones that are laying the foundation for Wall Street, not CoinMarketCap, not all these full sites you see. It's the people you don't see, that you don't hear about, that you don't know who they are. They're the ones determining what's actually happening in cryptocurrency. And this is why I can't have serious conversations with people in the space. They don't actually know anything. Who am I talking to besides myself? It's a joke. It's a literal joke. I feel sorry for RH. He has to go out there and parade and deal with these idiots. I don't have to do that. Not my coin. I'm just a fucking participant, right? But this is what's actually happening in people's faces. Nobody even knows who that lady is, and they should.
Yeah.
Because especially if you live in Europe.
Oh, and yeah, bro, like the last 2 weeks, A16, Binance, Gemini, they're all meeting with the European regulators about DeFi. So you don't think like Mike Novogratz, when he goes and meets with European regulators, is going to make sure DeFi is thriving so they can profit off of it? It's like, you got to be crazy. It's like I could see the writing on the walls. We're just gonna follow suit, whatever. It's a trial over in the east, and then it moves west.
Yep.
Whatever works in Europe, we'll adopt over here. Whatever doesn't work will be weeded out over the next couple of years.
And this is kind of the thing. It's and I say this all the time. Slowly, then all of a sudden. That's how things happen. People think they're not coming, they're not changing, but they're not looking where they need to be. They're looking at coin ranking sites. Like, you're not a serious participant. You're just some pleb that's going to get washed out eventually. Nobody cares about you because you don't care about yourself. So why is your opinion, your thought, whatever you got to say, relevant? It's not. How about you go learn what's actually going on in the industry? Do some research that makes sense. Don't go to a coin ranking site, because they're not going to do anything but market some shit to you. They're not offering you anything but misinformation. Now, if that's your thing, never mind me.
Go ahead.
Some people love that. Some people love misinformation, bro.
Right. Yeah, it's you just feel bad. Like, yeah, it's crazy. Like, especially with you, like in finance and like Wall Street and all the shenanigans. Yeah. Like, somebody as an outsider would look at it and be like, "Wow, those guys, they're smart people. They work for yada yada yada.
Right.
They're the best firm in the world. great, smart, and you're like, these guys are freaking idiots. They don't know a thing. They're just hiding behind that building, hiding behind that company name, hiding behind that prestigious title. But deep down inside, they're a dumbass.
You want to hear how true that is? Let me tell you how true it is. This was my literal thought while I was in college deciding to change my major, because when I went to college, my thought was I'm gonna be an engineer. That's how I think. I'm a dude that does math. And when I just, the world was falling apart. This was 2007. So the world was falling apart at the time. Everything that was going on that was in your face was financial. Everything, no matter where you went, no matter what you read, the world was falling apart financially. There was nothing happening interesting in engineering to me as far as I could see. So I decided to go that route just because of that. And I literally thought, well, damn, if I'm just trying to make this money, all I got to do is learn what's going on, which I already knew, and I should be able to make some money. That was my thought. And this is my intro into thinking macro, because it was just natural for me because of my life up until that point. But what I didn't know is that being smart is entirely irrelevant. This is why we see what we see in crypto. This is why we hear people complaining about the stupidest things instead of just shutting the fuck up and making some money. Real talk. Be right back, guys. Gotta get some water.
It's like that. I feel like in the chain of command like that is everywhere. It's like you look around at some whatever government entity, or even big corporations. It's like, how did that? Everybody knows someone whose boss should not be there. How did they get that position? And it's like, it's the same thing as Wales was talking about there, where it's in every single, I feel like, profession out there. And I think the world's due for a massive we're in process right now of a huge wake up call, and like a shift in like consciousness or something like that.
I'm just reading a report where a document that states that in November 2020, it was already confirmed that the vaccines didn't work and were neither safe nor effective. Damn.
We all knew that, but we were crazy back. Like, it was so hard to overcome the noise and the nonsense. Like, everything you sent out was double check or like fake news or false, or you couldn't even send stuff around social media that was factual.
Yup. I got kicked off of Facebook for literally posting the document of the guy that created the PCR test. Apparently not allowed.
And yeah, it's like I don't know where, how you even, I don't know how I started the process of like go from like 5 years ago being so programmed to everything to now being able to like see. I don't know. I can't remember like what the single moment was, but I feel like it's inevitable. Like, if you're just hanging around people that are smarter than you or having like more intelligent conversations, it's like inevitable at this point.
That's the beauty about what we have right now, that instant communication, especially with the people within Hexaco that are so close together for so long. You get more and more interesting conversations, and when everything started off as a story, the story becomes more reality day by day, and now you're already seeing that we are truly starting to build things and prepare for things. And it does give me hope, because before the whole HEX community, I didn't really had a hope for a lot of people, but at least this gives some hope.
Yeah. And that's like, dude, I think that's what crypto is like, does most importantly, is like it gives people a hope that like, okay, because I've never, like, with nothing else, no investments or anything, has it been like, oh my God, I can't wait for like 2, 3, 5 years. Like, there's just something about like when you're getting paid every day from your T-shares, or you're collecting, your flare that you're getting, your drops every month, or a free airdrop over here. Just like, there's something about crypto and like knowing you have more coming in the future that like also changes the way you like live your life.
True. It does give some assurance, even though nothing in the future is certain. But yeah, at least it's good to see that people are actually starting to think about taking action over their direct surroundings. That is something that was gone for a long time.
Yeah.
Or I was just not seeing it. And since the HEX community now, we're now seeing that more and more people starting to work together and truly start to want to make a change.
Yeah, that's what I think is going to be is actually just doing it and setting the example, and then people will follow.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
you see it, and then it's like, wow, okay, that's it's an option at least. If it's
Yeah.
an option that'll always be there, that's sustainable.
Yep.
I think it's HEX daily stats, I believe. Far out daily. Where can we find the daily T-share yields on Pulse?
I'm at least gonna try to become self-sustainable within the next 2 years. Completely, that's the goal. Hopefully, I can achieve it.
Do you have well water over there in Portugal?
We don't have a well directly. I do have access to a stream that runs 24/7.
Yeah.
I was only there for 3 days, so I didn't really have any chance to really explore. But the exploring that I did was promising. But we'll have to see. But no well, no. Not on my property, at least. Maybe further on, who knows?
Yeah, I think that's super important, but I don't think people realize how bad like you just like tap water really is.
Oh yeah, I know.
What's in it? And you get so
No,
used
no.
to it. But having a well, having sustainable water, having something that isn't filled up with chlorine and fluoride and God knows what else. I don't even want to know what's in it.
God knows
But you
what
can
else.
just smell the chemicals.
You can see them as the water is running out.
Yeah.
You can literally see in New York and in the city anyway, where you have the quote unquote best tap water, you can see the chemicals coming out. Literally. I mean, it's not like you even gotta wait, it's there.
Yep.
Like the water is white, it's not water. It's not transparent, it's cloudy.
They said the same thing
So I
about
don't
our
know.
water here in the Netherlands. It's supposed to be one of the best, they say. But
They gotta
then,
make you believe the lies, bro.
yeah. And then you put a can on a stove, let's say a couple of gallon. Or 1 gallon is 4 liters, I think. Yeah, about 2 gallons. A big
3.8.
pan.
3.8.
So
3.8, 7 liters to be precise.
exactly. So if you boil that dry, look in the pan what kind of residue is left over after all the water is evaporated, and then think about it, what you're drinking and showering every single day. You have no idea how much stays within that pan just by 1 or 2 gallons of water.
Precisely.
Bro, like I feel like we need to do that, and like you should like do that and go like and
Literally
show it
now-
on Twitter. And
I
like
could now literally get that pan and show it here for you directly, how that pan looks like after about
yeah,
10 gallons.
bro,
me get
people I feel like need to see that stuff and then see like the alternative. All right, this is what you have right now, and here's what the alternative can be. If you have a stream, or if you have well water, or if you have something that's just cleaner that you can put through some kind of a Brita filter or something, and then from there, it's just a start, and that changes like your perception on what's like healthy and what you're putting into your body.
You know, about 7 years ago, I saw this documentary randomly. Just some girl introduced me to it. She was like, "Yo, just watch this shit real quick." And I was like, "All right." I didn't give a fuck. I was just smoking, so I was like, "Whatever." And long story short, that I don't give a fuck changed my life, because that documentary was called Forks Over Knives. Find it if you can. I think it probably doesn't even exist anymore because they don't want you knowing this information. And long story short, if you look at the difference between the way the East eats versus the West, never mind the components of the food, just the thought process behind it is significantly different. And that thought process is pushed on you. It's imposed on you. It's not even anything that's legit, real, or anything, because what you end up discovering after you stop eating, like whatever you're sold, 3 meals a day and, the food pyramid and all that nonsense, you come to the realization that you could probably live off of a fifth of what you currently consume, if not less. Believe that, because it's true. Yeah. And that includes meat, vegetable. Well, people don't really consume vegetables, but let's just say meat, starches, and all that stuff that isn't actually good for you. You can drop that literally down all the way 80%. Just cut it all out. It'll change your life in a month. Not even a joke. But people are not willing to do. I got my best friend. I was the best man at his wedding. He's known me since I was a fat ass in college. He sees what I look like now. And even that will not motivate him to make the changes that he needs to make for so that dude isn't some fat fuck. Now, it's all mental, and that's the proof. It's all mental. You think you know what you know, but the results, how you're living, how you're feeling, all of that is the proof that you're doing it wrong. And it's on you to realize that. Nobody can tell you that. You got to realize that. That's what's crazy. Because nobody's going to tell you the truth. Nobody wants you to know the truth. Everybody wants you to do what they're doing. Monkey see, monkey do. And the feds, they want you to die. So clearly they're not going to tell you shit. You're out here by yourself, man, and people don't want to believe that.
Yeah. We could change like this community, the people that like once you start to know people for a couple years, once you get people that like us that can sit down, have a conversation, be civil, talk about both sides of stuff, right or wrong, you combine that with money and resources, then you become dangerous. Like we have the potential to like make a huge impact in the future. And like each day, nothing's going to feel like it's going to feel like the slowest change ever. But in reality, it's not. It's the polar opposite.
It's just literally instant. And it's funny because we were talking about long-term thinking and whatnot earlier. And only when I changed my frame of thinking did my life immediately change, which is funny because I was acting with this short-termism for so long. And only when I said, you know what, no more, did everything change. Only then. And I mean, it didn't even take a month. My life literally changed and it must have been 12 days. I mean, I was literally counting the shit the other day. It was literally a span of 12, 11 days. My life just completely has changed. So at the end of the day, it's on you to find your way out of your hell, because the hell you live in is literally self-imposed. And this is why crypto is important. This is why learning markets is important, because all these little knicks of how you got to think about A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, all those different forms of thought help you realize that if I didn't know this here and I didn't know that here, then maybe I don't know this over here. Because that's how I ended up literally knocking all these lies one by one. How is it that I know all this shit? I'm not some genius. I didn't even go to I didn't even go to no Ivy League school, right? Like I don't even care about any of that. But yet I have all this verifiable, factual, life-changing information. And there's so many people online like that. I'm not the only person. There's a whole army of people out here dying to change your life for free. Not even for money, just for free.
Yep.
We live in a world where it's yours and they want you to think it's not.
Yes, bro. The opportunities are endless. Like it's that Scarface scene with the blimp.
Literally.
Like the world
the world is
your
yours.
hand,
Yo.
yes.
Oh my God.
It's so true.
Mm-hmm.
It's so true when you think of it like that. And it's all perception. It's all what you make of stuff, and your own hell exactly is what you create. Like this nightmare of the economy, of just insanity that's in the media now, the stuff being pushed on kids. It's never going to end. It's on you. It's on us to build or have an alternative. There's never going to change the puppet show.
Yeah.
The people need it. Half of the world relies on it. They're herd animals, basically, that need to be told what to do. They could not sustain on their own. So you need, I could not imagine being in charge of the herd and control it. That would be the worst job in the world. So I almost look at it like it's a blessing that some of this stuff is in place, because it lets us be able to crush and do what we want, and not be held back by the herd.
Right. And it's imperative, right?
So everything is like a catch-22, or
everything is a catch. Yeah, everything.
Bob Marley redemption song.
I remember.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, from mental slavery.
If people listen to Bob Marley's music, it'd be a different world.
Yes.
Just listen. You don't gotta like it. Just listen.
So much knowledge in his lyrics. It's insane.
Yeah. I remember being a kid and hearing all this stuff. And you're a kid. You don't really hear it. You're just listening and enjoying it. But then when you get older, you're like, oh, this motherfucker was red pilling me the whole time.
Yeah. Screaming it from the rooftops. Wake the fuck up, man.
Yeah. And that's why they killed him.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why they killed him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, HEX
and that's why I advise people that do things online, they just do things publicly, to be cautious of what they're doing, what they're speaking, because until things change to the point that we're in control, we're not. For those that keep asking, Wales, why don't you show your face? How about you get off my dick? How about that? Because I know what I'm doing. You motherfuckers is watching me. I'm not watching you. So why you worry about what I'm doing with my face? Because I'm tired of hearing that shit. I hear that shit at least once a week. It's so stupid. It's like how lost are you? It's crazy.
The lowest level IQ thinking that is just like, wow. How do you?
Yes.
It's just shocking, bro. It really is just shocking. It's like,
it is. Because it's not like it's not explained. It's not like it's not explained. Like, I'm not Adam. I'm not facing reality. My universe is entirely different than everybody else's. Yeah. I literally cannot show my face. I'm on the books, bitch. You don't know me. And this is the thing that people don't understand. Like, you just talking. You don't know anything. So how can you sit here and tell people what to do online? How about you go show your face or something, whatever it is you want people to do? And it's funny because it's always the people that aren't doing anything, aren't putting any work, aren't doing anything to add value to the community.
Exactly. Exactly.
They think they can dictate terms. It's funny.
Yeah, in the Netherlands, we have that saying that says the best sailors are on shore.
Oh, fuck. Nailed it. Yep. Love it. It's true.
Yeah.
That's a great way of putting it.
Erwin, you were saying before, how AI, there's always humans behind it. These bots out here that are out to troll the world. I swear, it's the same.
Let me ask you
thing
guys a
no
question.
matter what they're trolling.
Have you guys noticed lately that anytime you tweet HEX, the word HEX, you get slammed with bots?
Well, have you have a you don't have an MEV bot yet?
Exactly. Every tweet, it never fails.
Yeah, it's like it's that, and there it's like, hey, this AN 7200 coin is doing really well.
Oh, right. Yeah. All that
Like,
shit, bro.
That's why I need to blast it in your face because it's doing
Yeah.
so well for me.
Correct.
Like I guess like yeah, like the mainstream, that crypto. I guess you could see where people get that narrative from. Like crypto is the Wild West. Crypto is dangerous. I mean, there is stuff that is just like the blatant scams and like the openness of it is actually pretty crazy.
Hold on. Did you were you guys watching yesterday when we were? I think I was streaming with Wes Scott and ATX on their channel when this headline dropped, where it was Elizabeth Warren, some senator, saying that something about crypto needs to be shut down because of the fentanyl trade. Like they just don't know what else to make up at this point, bro. We need to shut it down. Like talk about clueless. And this is the power. That's why we hold the keys.
Well, we do. The meek shall inherit the earth.
Fact. It's already in works. Already in the works.
It is, bro. It is. This you cannot live a life of lies and expect it to just be glorious
Work
forever.
out.
Every Rome, all the Greece, all of the
Everything.
civilizations got full of themselves, lived on the high horse, started thinking right was left was right. You know, you can have little boy girls sailing around the seas, Nero's. It's just that's what happens. It all leads to inevitable collapse. If you're living a moral, I've never heard in my life of a person that is doing the right thing, is paying their taxes, and just had their land stolen for no reason.
Right. Common over here in the U.S., however.
Yeah. It's like, okay, you were doing, if you had that happen, you were cheating on your taxes, you were like something, you were lying or doing something wrong. No moral person or has just got their stuff, our system is not like that. You know, so if you're doing the right thing, half of the nonsense out here that these people worry about will never even apply to your life.
That is true.
That's so literal.
But
Literal.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's literal. I'm sorry. It's just there's a lag on my internet. Sorry about that.
Oh, yeah, no, you're fine. It's funny that I read a story about I don't know, 85-year-old guy or something, and he inherits some land, builds his own house from the trees, from the land, everything. Took about 20 years to build it. It's freaking beautiful. And then after, I don't know how many times or how many years, he had to pay capital gain tax on something that he built with his own bare hands, getting the resources from his own land. And now he has literally to pay capital gains tax. It was like $60,000 a year or something. It's insane. How does that work? Yeah, I'm not joking.
It doesn't. Somebody's screwing them. Somebody's lying to them. That doesn't even work. That's not how it works. That's not here in the U.S., right?
Yeah, it was in the U.S.
What?
Some state changed something, and they something
that's
with new laws or something, and I don't know. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he was living in a house for many decades.
That's what Trump did in 2017. I don't know if you remember. This was a while ago, right? A while back.
Yeah, a while ago. Yeah,
do you remember when this happened?
Sounds about that time. Yeah.
Yeah, that was when they changed these real estate laws in the U.S., where states like New York, California were essentially getting away with murder by having all these other states fund some tax payments that quote unquote landowners were not making, or property owners were not making, and that's what happened. That's why these people had to come out of pocket out of nowhere, because they were just stealing money this whole time. Yo, and that again, but that goes back to you not knowing what's going on. That's your own fault.
True.
For letting some other motherfucker that told you it's all good tell you it's all good instead of you doing the work and understanding what's actually happening.
Yep. It's a fact. And if you had like a strong community that you knew all your neighbors, you knew your sheriff, like someone would have gave you a heads up or been like, hey, we know this,
Some
he's a good
knowledge.
guy. Like, just I feel like knowing your community, like they wouldn't let that happen to you. That's why like we need to build that, like it has to happen. Like we have a chance to like all the framework can be built and laid out to do it right the next, like it can end right here with like all of our like kids, like we have the ability to like just change and reverse course right here in the next couple of years. Actually, we could do it now. We can start tomorrow. It's just you have the resources to do it.
Right. But that's why people have to learn to be diamond-handed, because that's the only way. It's not going to happen any other way. Like, you got to really be thoughtful, methodical, and all of that. I mean, if we play our hand right, nobody's going to be able to tell us anything. They're just going to have to shut the fuck up and comply. Literally. I'm not even joking. Because that's how it works now. Why would we change anything? The only way to fix what's fucked up is by doing what's being done to reverse what's occurred. No mercy is the call. There is no other way. Do they show us mercy? No amnesty, no mercy, no nothing. All those people gotta go. However they go, it don't matter. They gotta go. That's what literally has to happen. There is no two ways. Anybody that ever stood on that side of the aisle has to go. They can't vote even if you want. But that's what has to happen.
Yep.
They have to. They're gonna, because there's no other option.
There isn't, bro. Right now, like this, what is the debt ceiling is going to go to what? $100 trillion? Like at what point
is the debt ceiling is a metaphor, bro. That's a metaphor. Like, that's not a ceiling.
Right. Like it's all, it doesn't even matter. It's all an illusion. It's all just a puppet show. But it's like, at what point are we not going to be looking at 80-year-olds to be making these decisions? At what point, like, are people we can like relate to that even have a clue what's going on? Like, it's crazy. Like, there needs to be an age limit on politicians. Like, I don't know. Like, you could go on forever.
Not allowed to drive a car, but good enough to rule the world. Yeah, makes sense.
How about that? Mm-hmm. Makes all the sense in the world. Yep.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, bro. I'm gonna be building, or I know Facing Reality is doing it. When do you go to Portugal in a couple months? Like what, a month and a half ish?
It all depends. So my youngest just finished with her exams, and as soon as she gets her graduations and all the papers and everything is signed, then pretty much I have no attachment here anymore. So, and that can happen within 6 to 8 weeks, I think. And then I'm going to Portugal and probably never look back. Or at least not to the Netherlands. I mean, the ultimate goal is to go to the United States. That was the goal from the start. But since that's just such a big hustle and it's only getting worse through what happened in the past 3 years, so it's getting harder and harder actually to get in. So I thought I'd make a pit stop in Portugal. And gotta admit, I'm kind of liking it.
Take what the universe gives you while you can make the proper move that you need to make. That's really
exactly.
That's really all we can do, and that's why right now the move is to stand strong and let them do the work. I mean, how fortunate are we that we literally are not going to have to worry about getting NPCs out the way? They're literally doing the job for us. I'm, for one, elated. I don't have to concern myself with sheep. They're going to be gone. They're killing themselves. They are literally killing themselves. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better outcome if you ask me, because I'm very serious about what's going on here. There is no future for humanity unless somebody says, fuck this.
Yep.
Yeah, I would love to come to Florida someday. And we'll visit someday. And I do agree with you, Alan, that it doesn't really matter where you go. And even though I agree, because you got to create your own thing around you. The thing is, I am, for some reason, the only country in the world where I get literally jail time if my kid isn't going to school. And since I don't want to have my kids for the next 2 to 3 years on mandatory indoctrination, I have to leave this country. I literally have to. Because if I keep my kids at home right now, I'd literally go to jail.
Shit is crazy, yo.
That's the country I live in. So I get what
That
you're
shit is
saying, but
so crazy. You got to do what you got to do.
yeah, and exactly.
The country with the red light district will throw you in jail for homeschooling your kids.
Dude,
Go
it's-
figure.
It makes
But
no
that
sense.
just goes to show what the focus is, what the desire is of society as it's structured.
Yep.
And that's why we have to do what we have to do. Got to be done. We don't have a choice.
No,
And don't
we
get it
don't.
twisted. This is going everywhere. Because what most people probably don't realize is that the Netherlands is literally the central hub of the world. A lot of regulations, a lot of
Dutch East India Company. Anybody remember that one?
Exactly. And
Fucking
it's still the
clowns.
biggest hub in Europe.
Yo, and look, and this is why I can't have conversations with people that think they're adults. They don't even know anything.
Yeah.
Like,
Sure.
like the fact you have to explain that is exactly why it's hard for me to have conversations with adults. Like, you don't even know this basic shit. Get the fuck out of here. Just go. Bye.
Yeah.
We're not having a conversation. Once again, I'm talking to myself. Now, if you want to learn, go watch a fucking stream. I don't need to teach you. You ain't nobody.
Yeah.
That's the reality. Because people pretend that time is over. That's why they're dying from the poison juice. Enjoy it. Keep pretending. That's what pretending gets you. That's what it does, yo.
It does.
That's literally what it does.
Yeah, man. Oh,
And,
oh.
and like somehow this pretend Richard Hart money is actually way better than anything ever created. Like, we are so lucky we're here now. Like, just like thinking about like HEX back in the day around like the adoption amplifier and like what we knew and what we thought we knew. Like, we were freaking clueless back then. We did not know what the hell we were doing. And it's like this go round now, you know, with PulseX and Pulsechain out and HEX on 2 chains. It's like, man, like this is the opportunity that we needed to be able to financially make a change without putting 30, 40 years in. And then
That's
what?
right.
Then what do you do when you're 70, 75? It's just
Die.
not the same. It's having your whole life ahead of you.
2 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, having your life ahead of you with financial resources, it makes all the difference in the world.
100%.
Yep.
It feels good to not have, like, this is my first time actually taking a vacation in my life where I don't got to worry about nothing. I ain't never done this in my life.
Nice.
Yep.
Thank you, Richard
awesome,
Hart.
bro.
Thank you, Richard Hart.
Yep.
Mhm.
And
Amen.
and this is why I go hard for Richard Hart, because I understand what he's doing. I might not agree how he does everything, but I don't have to. Because at the end of the day, it's about being on the same team and understanding that this is crypto and we all play our own respective part. Critical that we understand that as we move forward. What Adam does is not what Whales does. What Facing Reality does is not what Whales does. What Whales does is not what they do. And that's what everybody needs to understand. We all play an integral part in this. We're all one universe. We are not a part. We're separate, but not a part. And that's why when we come together, we're like Voltron. You can't not beat us.
Yep. And well, and also too is all of like these clowns around us. They're doing the work for us. They're scamming their own people. They're doing shady shit, and then they're all just falling around. Like, they're making it easier for us to like stay on top and like keep climbing the throne. Because as long as you
100%.
just don't screw people over and you're
You're a winner.
honest and you try to help people out, like, it's not that hard to do.
It's not.
It really isn't.
It's not. I mean, look at Richard Hart's fan base. Because a lot of those guys and girls, they really just got lucky. Looking back at what we've seen over the past 2-3 years with HEX and now Pulsechain, it's obvious that the majority of those people that got rich off of HEX, majority of them got lucky. They did not know what they were doing. They didn't. And I was talking about this yesterday or the day before, some other fucking stream, because I remember when I showed up, nobody was talking data. Everybody was talking that kumbaya feel good shit that doesn't actually get you paid.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't. Everybody was hoping and wishing. That's not an investment. That's definitely not a fucking strategy. And that's exactly why I stand apart and stand alone from all the furus within the community. Because guess what? All of them naysayed me, and all of them have been wrong. Because what they were doing while they were naysaying me is naysaying Richard. They just didn't know that because it wasn't coming from Richard directly.
Mm-hmm.
But time has played out in such a way where it's clearly obvious who has a clue and who does not.
Nope.
The devil is in the details, always.
Yeah, you've been saying it from the beginning. Stay vigilant. Never forgot.
Now,
And I said it multiple times. I'm lucky that we got to know each other early on, because the majority of the T-shirts that I got was because of the things that you said. Even
wow.
though we all had a thought that we understood what was going on, but the way that you pushed it made me have way more T-shirts than I anticipated.
Happy to help, brother.
Yeah.
Happy to help. I mean, it's about thinking. It's not about doing what somebody else is telling you. And that's what I think people don't understand. I made people think twice about what they were thinking. And that's all my job is. My job is not to tell you what to do. It's just to provide you with information that you actually need and you don't know you need. Because that's what we all have. There's something that somebody out there knows that you don't know that you need to know. That's a fact, not an opinion.
Yeah, I'm a data geek, and that is exactly what you provided it with all your charts, and you provided the objective, factual data. There's no opinion here.
None.
There's data. Deal with it. And I dealt
Pretty
with
much.
it. Yeah.
Pretty much.
So there's certain people that like they function that way. They need to see that analytical stuff. They need it a 2-hour video to explain and go down these rabbit holes. And it was so needed. And like everything, like for everybody has their like traits or whatever, their special things they bring to the community. And there's someone on the other side that needs it. That like, all right, this person would be great if you send them a rags video, or send this person your video, or send them over here. Like there's so many quality options now that weren't around 30 years ago. And we're only going to grow from here, and kind of like, not like we're going to form our own like sub communities inside, I think, inside the ecosystem. We're like not division, but like, each, I think just naturally that kind of happens.
It does. And that's kind of why you got to be patient and understand that you need to have a long-term vision.
Yep.
Right. I mean, that's something that I just didn't get, until data presents itself that allows you to make a decision. You really can't. Right. And if you're not paying attention and you're not looking, then you're not going to make any decisions that are beneficial to you.
100%. 100%. Awesome, guy. Well, I'm getting hungry as hell over here.
No worries. I got to hop in a little bit anyway.
Yeah. We're going for an hour and 45 minutes. I appreciate you stopping in, Whales, facing reality.
My pleasure, brother. My pleasure.
Heck yeah, man. Always.
Yeah, love chopping it up with you guys. Good. Like, there's only a few people that I can feel like I can just like talk openly and not like have to explain stuff, or just it's nice to
have a general convo. Sure.
Yeah, face reality and yeah, just hear interesting perspectives and yep.
I mean, look, what's cool about us, our community, is that we don't have to talk to ourselves anymore.
Exactly.
We can talk to each other. And that was a big thing that I used to talk about at the beginning. We were all individuals that were apart because we couldn't find each other. Now, because of the internet and all of our interests have coalesced into this one thing called cryptocurrency. So freight train, bitches, get out the way, because you're about to get ran the hell over, whether you like it or not.
Yep. And once it's rolling, this ain't no stopping.
Nope. Look at that patch on the screen when I speak. That's everything you need to understand about the world.
I couldn't have said it better. Guys, if you're not liked, shared, subscribed, please do so. Follow Whales. I'm sure you guys already do. Facing Reality also on Twitter. He's always crushing it. And we will see you guys tomorrow.
Peace.
Peace.